Hi guys, this is Aditya from itemspot.com, and today I'll be showing you the basic Android development tutorial using Android Studio, and we'll be setting up our studio and the SDK in this video. So this tutorial, and just now jumping into the setup. So just navigate to developer.android.com and /stk/index.html. So there you will have the official Android IDE setup files. Just click on download Android Studio files. So and you will have the SDK tools and Android Studio packages. I'll be using Linux as my platform for the development. You can always use Windows or Mac if you want. So just download both of these Linux. I'll be downloading these Linux based SDK tools and Linux based Android Studio package. So once you download both of these, you'll have the package here. So if you just open the archive, so you'll have the Android Studio and you'll have all those library files and binary files. And for the SDK, you'll have this. I'm using an older SDK. You can always use the newer SDK. Just right click and extract the newer SDK, and you can always use that. So I'll show you how to set up our Android Studio and the SDK. So just open the bin folder here, and you have the Ctrl-Alt-T to open the terminal. Just make sure you have CD desktop, you have CD Android Studio and CD bin. So you need to move to this directory, and then you need to have execute the studio.sh shell file. So invoke the Android Studio file. So Android Studio will come up. So you have the Android Studio here. Now the main part is to configure your SDK first. So just click on configure. You have the project defaults. Click on project structure, and you have the SDK location. Just update it. You can always browse through using this SDK to find the SDK location, and always and update the Java location here, JDK location. You can use OpenJDK or the Oracle Java JDK. Both are working fine. And you have the SDK manager here. Just open the SDK manager and make sure you have all the tools and all the API images you want. By default, you'll be getting the Android 5.0.1 image SDK images with the Android Studio IDE. Once you download the SDK, if you want the lower platforms, you need to download them separately. Just close that. Okay, so we'll go and we'll start our new Android Studio project here. I'll build a small HelloWorld application for today. So we have the HelloWorld application, and we have the company name or the domain of the or the package name. You can give it whatever you want. I'll be giving this one. So com.iTechnospot. So we have this. So just proceed. You have the SDK here. I'll be choosing 16. You can always choose 13, 10. This list depends on the SDKs you have installed. So I don't have the Gingerbread SDK in my SDK folder, so I'm not able to see the Gingerbread SDK or API version 10. So I'll be using Android 4.1 here. Just click on next. So I'll be choosing a blank activity. These are my files, and I'll click finish. So Griddle will build the app here, app directory. Once the Griddle builds the app, we have all the files and the layout files here. Initially it will be showing some problems, and yeah, finally it resolves. Still doing some work. Yeah, I think it's done. So once you get this, we have the hello world text here. So we'll be putting some of our own widgets there. So to start with, I'll start with putting a normal text view which will be like large enough. So I'll just put a large text here. I'll just put the, once you double click on the text on the widget, you'll get the text and you'll get the ID here. So you can always hit the ID. No need to move to XML file as you we guys used to do in Eclipse. So I'll just make it text view, or I'll just make it a tv1, so there'll be text view 1. So this is my first text view, and it will be automatically updated in my XML file. So we have it automatically updated here. So once we move back, we have our main activity here, and in the new SDK we have the action bar activities, which will be used for customizing the action bar. And if you use the normal activity here, so then there will not be any action bar in your app. So we have our app ready now to run. We'll just run the app. So it will wait for any external devices if you have connected using your ADB or your phone or smartphone device, or it'll tell you to start the Nexus 5 emulator. So we'll launch the emulator here, and we'll choose the Nexus 5 API 21. So I'll just choose it. I'll just press OK. Now it'll load the emulator here. In the meanwhile, I'll be showing you how the Griddle works here. So this is our Griddle application, and this is our project, HelloWorld project. Here you can see the app compat version. It's compiling using no need to add it as a library or some other things. So no need to create the app compat app again like it used to happen in Eclipse. So we just have this file, this statement here in the dependencies, and it will compile the package for you. You can always put all the Facebook SDK or the Google SDK or any of those SDKs which you are using there. I think our emulator has loaded up there. So this is the emulator, and it's very fluid now. So you can see the hello world and the text which we have there, and you have the normal settings bar which is always there because of the on create options menu, and you have a menu main which will be inside the menu main. So if you check these files, you have the settings tab here. So that's it for this tutorial. This is a basic hello world application and how to set up the Android SDK. You can always check out my website itechnospot.com and my blog blog.itechnospot.com, and make sure to check out all the videos on our YouTube channel. I'll be dropping all the links in the description below. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe.